Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of What's on Tap Podcast.com.
Yes, I am your host, Stefan.
I'm your host, Martin.
And today, due to recent events in the beer world, we thought it would be interesting to do an episode around the Pink Boots society. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a movement or a society, or I think it's kind of a little bit of both. So with the Pink Boots is an organization that encourages women to brew. I think it's primarily U.S. based, but I don't think that they're only U.S. based. And what they're doing is they give out scholarships and do courses and education around brewing and getting more women involved in brewing. And the reason we're doing this is because a few weeks ago, what was that,
Brienne Allen.
Yes.
Instagram hashtag name was Rat Magnet.
Yep. She works at Notch Brewing in Salem, Mass. And after not working in the, office or the brewery for a little while due to COVID restrictions, she came back to work and was immediately harassed or belittled in some way twice in one day. And because of that, she reached out through her Instagram, and she only had about 2,000 followers at the time, but is now somewhere over probably 20,000 followers. I haven't looked recently to see what her follower number count is, but she's just asked, like, what are some other instances, from women that have been harassed in the brewing industry. And I think she's up to 10 pages of instances that you can go in and read and sort through. And the fallout has been extreme. I mean, it's been quite amazing to see how far and wide this is reached.
Yes, but the stuff I've read from her reporting is quite sensible and reasonable and responsible, because she gets a lot of, everyone is just sending her every instance of sexism and abuse in the entire industry globally. Yeah. She's corroborating it. She's like making lists and getting stuff verified and corroborated, and basically not just dumping a lot of. It's not just dumping a lot of gossip.
Yeah,
it's a lot of
hearsay and a lot of. Well, of course, there's multiple. Like, so if one person comes forward with a story, there's usually two or three other people that come forward with the stories that are very similar. So far we've seen it touch Hill Farmstead, Tired Hands, Modern Times, even over here in Europe, the head and founder of Dry and Bitter stepped down. So it's been pretty extreme, and I shouldn't say shocking, because I don't think it really shocks anyone that these things are going on, but it's just sad that it's so prevalent in the industry that has always prided itself on being open and friendly and sharing. But I think when you start looking behind the scenes a little more at women and minorities, that it's not as inclusive a community as I think a lot of people would want it to pretend it is. So we just happened to have two beers come out at Stigbergets in the past couple of weeks that kind of worked with the Pink Boots Society. And Pink Boots Society is another group which encourages women to brew.
Yes.
And what they do every year is they put out a list of hops. And this year's Pink Boots hop blend is Citra, Laurel, Sabro, Cashmere, and Tannum.
Tannum?
AHTANUM.
Ah, that's a new one for me.
That's a new one for me too. And what's messing me up is the HT is reversed, which is a very rare thing in English in particular. And so we have two beers, both supposedly made with the same hops, but treated in very different ways.
Yes.
So I guess that's the intro. Anything else you want to add to this?
No, I mean the sexism in this industry. It is a real thing. I've seen it myself when I've been at beer festivals, either behind a booth or in front of a booth, where female brewers have been overlooked or talked. When someone talks above you,
They talk down to them. That's what you would say.
No. I mean that they're not even addressed.
Oh, they're just ignored.
Where
tough.
Where someone will talk past them. Sometimes when I've been in a booth, I've gotten questions about the brewing, and I've said, no, she's the brewer, and they've either left without getting their question answered, or they've given me a new question, and I say, I'm just a helper. I have not brewed any of this. I'm just standing here pouring beer, and like this.
To be fair, you are quite tall, so I can see why people might go to you first. But
that's a part of the problem. That's a part of the problem where the instinct is, oh look, there's a tall guy with a beard. Yes. He must be the brewer. And when I say I'm not the brewer, she is or he is or whoever is.
Yeah.
That statement doesn't get immediately respected. It gets questioned and made.
Yeah.
Because the beer industry, the beer scene has a lot of weirdos. I mean,
you don't say.
And they don't handle a lot of these. So I mean, that's not an excuse, but I've seen some funky stuff.
I'm sure you have.
With women being just ignored, even when I point. No, I am not the brewer. She is the brewer. It's been kind of weird. So it's a real thing.
Yeah. If you haven't had a chance to go in and read Red Magnet's Instagram stream, I would say do so. It's quite infuriating and frustrating, or at least I found it to be in many ways. A lot of the stories are very, difficult to read.
Yeah.
But so let's get into today's beers.
Yes.
So today we have Pete Boots Revolution from Fermentarna, which is did we look up? We said it was a husband and wife team, or is it just partners, or?
I actually don't know. I just know that they're co-founders, Anna and Niklas.
Yes.
Co-founders and co-brewers. If they're in a relationship, it doesn't really matter to me.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's not important. I don't know what the relationship is between the two, but two people of opposite sexes who decided to found a brewery, and they've been really on the up and coming trend for like the past couple of years now.
Yeah, a lot of good sours and the funky stuff.
Yeah, they came out with mostly sours to start with, and they were really intense. And then they've been getting more and more into IPAs and double IPAs and stuff. Yep. This is the first double IPA I've tried from them, so I'm looking forward to get into this. All right, let's jump in. And
the label is just gorgeous. It's a frog in a raincoat and gigantic pink boots.
Oh yes. And this comes in at 6.5% ABV. Okay.
So it's not a double IPA.
Sorry, you're right. It's a double dry hopped New England IPA. My mind just rearranged the words into dry hopped and double IPA.
I'm just janking your chain because we've had this discussion where other brewers might put the double IPA label on their 6% IPA.
Well, 6.5, so I mean it's almost there. All right, well, cheers.
Cheers.
It's pretty tasty.
It's quite creamy.
It is. There's some floral notes in there.
Yep. The melon.
Yeah, it's much more in the floral melon than the citrus or grass notes. It's got a very sweet finish to it.
Very yellow color.
Yes, it's not. Yeah, it's not like super murky. It's more in that kind of straw haze kind of style. Yeah, it's pretty good IPA. I don't know that. I'd be really curious to understand how the Pink Boots Society decides on their hop selection, and why did it have to be 5 hops? Why is that? Why that blend in particular?
It's a good question. I mean, so the society has a web page where all of the chapters, where most of them are in the US, but there are international chapters, are listed. There's some kind of discussion forum. There's a lot that's also inaccessible to us as non-members.
Yes.
If I were to be part of this society, I would have some kind of fun poll where everyone just goes in like vote like crazy.
Yeah, and then it's like the top 3 hops are the ones that we pick or something, or maybe they have a pre-selected combinations,
maybe,
and then you vote on the one that you think you would most like to brew with.
Something like that. So even if we have made research for this episode, we didn't do that research.
Yeah, just that one more piece of information that would have been extremely useful. Yeah, it's pretty good. I really like it. It's I'm so used to their sour beers, and this is, like I said, this is kind of different for me. So I don't have a system of like comparison for other IPAs that they've released, or New England IPAs that they've released. I don't know why I just haven't ordered anything from them recently, even though they've been showing up more and more in the System Belonged.
I tried. So they made 2 beers called Celebration Battle. I think for an anniversary.
I think I couldn't get one of them, so I didn't get both of them.
So one of them was named Anna and one was named Niklas. I just guessed that they made one recipe each, and just like battle. Who makes the best one? And I remember those as quite similar to this one in the flavor profile, and I mean it's a well-made IPA. It does have a lot of floral notes. Maybe personally I would want more fruit.
I wouldn't mind a little more stone fruit or a little more melon kind of flavor in here.
But I mean,
for sure.
That would have to come from the Citra, I guess.
Yeah, I would guess the Citra or maybe the Sabro. I'm not really sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of single hop Sabro IPAs that I didn't really like. It's not my favorite hop, but I don't get any of the negative flavors from this one.
Yeah, I would say it's a well balanced. It's a good beer. It would make me want to try more of their IPAs. However, I don't find this particularly memorable or overall exciting. But it's quite drinkable. I would say 6.5. If you had a few cans of this, you would enjoy them, and it would be fun at a picnic. 100% for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very drinkable, very quaffable beer.
It is,
especially for sunny weather. And I think with a beer like this, when there's some statement is the wrong. There's a message behind this beer. The weirder you make it, the less audience will receive it.
Yeah.
So getting the word out, getting the concept of pink boots, even if people just know those words, then it becomes more of a thing that everyone knows about and talks about. So then you want it to be more like this, drinkable, easily accessible to a wide audience.
Yeah.
We're just so used to seeking out and drinking really strange beers.
But I like this. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5.
And I'm going to go 3.75, maybe even strong. I mean, it's almost a 4.
Yeah, for me, it's like a 3.65 actually. So I think if it was just a little more upfront, I think I would like it a little bit better.
It wouldn't need much more to bump it up.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so moving on to the next beer from Stigbergets, which is of course a show favorite. We love our
we have a lot of
beer.
Stigbergets on the show.
This is brewed in connection with the Global Ladies of Wort.
And we were confused because we knew them as Gangsta Ladies of Wort.
Yes. So I think they may have had a name change.
Yes.
And like the Pink Boots Society, they're also what appears to be a collection of women with different chapters that are brewing in different areas. Because I saw when I went on their Facebook page, there was stuff from Poland and Spain and Sweden and different areas as well. I know that they're doing some brewing in Copenhagen in particular. And I don't know if what's in Untapped is the official Danish organization chapter, or if it's...
It seems like it.
Yeah.
So on Untapped it says that they are a Danish contract brewery.
Yeah.
But then they made collaborations with a London brewery and a German brewery.
Yeah. So just in the past few months, they've done a lot of collaborations, which makes me also think, like, if it's all like these virtual collaborations where they're just helping come up with a recipe and then the local brewery makes it, or are there people in the local markets that are doing this and then it's all being attributed to this particular organization?
Maybe.
It was really difficult reading through their Facebook page. It was difficult to understand how that actually works and functions, but I'm guessing that it's different chapters and then they're brewing under the Gangster Ladies of Wort.
Or Global.
Global, that's why, because I think that's why it's global now and not Gangsta.
Yes.
So I think it's a recent change. Yeah. So this is a farmhouse IPA. Comes in at 5.5%, and it's called Glow. I think we know why. Because of the name of the brewing. And this is an unfiltered, unpasteurized beer. And that's about all we got. Stigbergets doesn't put a lot of notes on their label, but they've got a really cool. They use the logo of the of Glow, and it has the skeleton with wings drinking a beer on fire with pink boots.
Yes.
So it's really cool. All right, so this is
definitely a darker orange color compared to
oh, for sure,
Pink Boots Revolution.
And the smell is like, if you were to blindfold me and try to have me try this, stays on. Yeah. This is farmhouse funk.
Definitely.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
In the past, this style of IPA has not been my favorite, so I'm very curious to see how this is handled.
It has a lot of saison flavor.
This is super funky.
It is very funky. Farmyard, stables and hay.
Yeah, it kind of almost reminds me of like the Belgian IPA style.
Yeah, they're quite similar.
Yeah. Man, your enjoyment of this beer will largely depend on how much you like funky saison beers.
Yes.
If you do not like funky saison beers, you will really not like this.
So what's the difference between a farmhouse IPA and a hoppy saison? I have
the order in which you want to classify
fallen
it?
into my trap. I would say that there's very little difference.
Maybe the maturation phase takes longer. IPA you can brew faster and the yeast doesn't work as hard. I'm not really sure.
Maybe.
But yeah, I quite like this. It's a really dry finish. It's, again, I think I like saison, so for me this is very drinkable.
Yeah, it's more farmhouse than it is IPA.
Oh, for sure.
The hops are taking a back seat.
Yeah, the hops are, I mean, again, if the only way for me the hops really present is there's this kind of clean, bitter finish. And then you kind of get a bit of the hoppy aroma, but the upfront is just so barnyard funk, which I quite enjoy.
Yeah, I enjoy it. For me, I've always liked this style as some a drinkable, easy. I mean, some people find the funkiness and the barnyard flavors off-putting, but I think for me it's quite drinkable.
Yeah,
easily drinkable.
Yeah, I think it also is kind of where you are in your beer journey. If you're a new beer drinker and you're still doing lagers and you're still doing like maybe you move on to stouts and then you're circling back around to sours or something, saisons are usually that last level of acceptance. Where first you're kind of like, ugh, this is really rough, and then over time you're kind of like, oh, I really appreciate the.
It's interesting that you say that. When I just had become a beer nerd, one of my beer nerd friends at that time, he was really into saisons. So he introduced me to a lot of them. So they were a beginner style for me, where I was seeking out Saison Dupont and Fantôme and all of these trademarks, staples of this style, because I found them very exciting and like new to my palate. Nowadays they're more like they're more backbone than they are anything. They exist and I will drink them, but
they're also harder to find. I mean, there aren't a lot of modern breweries that are making saisons.
The style kind of outside of Belgium and
it
kind
of goes in waves. Like you have this little saison wave, where suddenly like a bunch of breweries will release a saison, and then they'll like disappear for like a year and a half, and then somebody like, oh, you know what? We haven't had saisons in a while. Let's do another round, and then all of a sudden everyone does a saison again.
Yep.
So I wish it was more regular release, but I know that it doesn't sell because it's not a super sweet double IPA or adjunct heavy stout of some sort. Yeah, pastry stout or something like that. But I would say this is a really fun beer. I wish I knew whose idea it was to create it as a farmhouse IPA as opposed to just another just standard IPA. I would like to know whose influence, who did what in this collaboration, and how it came about. But yeah, I like this quite a bit. I think I will go with a 3.75 on this one.
I will as well.
So, be an ally. There's a lot of women in brewing these days, a lot more than you realize. Do a little research, and you can find online which breweries have women as their head brewers. If you see someone in a bar or restaurant being harassed or talked down to, say something.
Step
up, yeah, for sure.
If you see a woman in a booth at the festival pouring beer, don't automatically assume she's someone's girlfriend.
Yeah.
No matter how attractive she is.
That's true.
That seems to be a problem. Like, oh, you're too good looking to work in beer.
Yeah.
What? That's such a weird notion.
I've actually done the opposite. I was talking with Fontaflora, one of the first years we went to MBCC, and I thought the head brewer's girlfriend was the head brewer. She's like, no, you want to talk to him? I'm like, oh, okay.
That's more of an amusing mix-up than a systematic.
Yeah. No, I mean, normally, you see, you just kind of assume that women aren't out there working in the industry in quite the same way. But I know here in Malmo we have there's more and more women getting into brewing, thanks to like Secret Sisters and Arena. It's doing a lot of work around that, education. I know Malin, who is the Swedish Cicerone on Instagram, is doing a lot with education and training and helping women get more involved in beer. So I feel like, hopefully we're going to see more and more women getting involved in the industry and being more dominant. So look forward to that. Okay, anything else?
I think that's it. If we try to go further, we'll just be.
I feel like we're just one step away from going into a hole or something and saying something stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Look up the Pink Boot Society and Global Ladies of Wort online. Find out more about them and what they're doing. In the meantime, you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you can find fine quality podcasts.
Secret Russian satellite transmissions.
That's our most notorious way of communicating.
Yes.
All right. Until next time.
Keep drinking, you dumb-dumbs.